I am so blown away by my clients. Yesterday in the Unstoppable group, we were talking about frustration, and it was like the theme of the coaching call yesterday. And I was thinking about high achieving professional moms, all of you that are listening and watching even this video, how often we feel frustrated, Just really think about this. The busy professional working mom is making millions of decisions a day. She's dealing with curveballs and storms. She's dealing with decision making after decision making. She comes home and maybe the house is a mess or the kids have like drawn with Sharpie all over the couch. She's dealing with a partner who maybe sees or doesn't recognize the work that she's doing, the effort she's putting. And to put, like the cherry on the cake of this is we are dealing with all the humans that we don't control. Our patients, our clients, the people in our life, our partners, our bosses, our children. We just don't, unfortunately, control them. And this can be very frustrating. Now, when you're not aware of your brain, if you are unconscious about the way that your brain thinks about the people in your life, what they say, what they do, you are going to feel frustrated and likely overwhelmed very often. This was the theme of yesterday's coaching call, which I was so happy because it was such an important conversation to have, especially for the professional mom. We were talking about how people come into our life, and this can be a loved one or it can be just like a random person that you happen to be interacting with, and they will say things and they will do things and they will kind of act like, how people act. And you will not agree. You will not agree or approve of what they say or what they do. But so often, especially women, have been socialized to think that we have to go and fix somebody else's emotional state. And that is the reason that we actually end up feeling frustrated and overwhelmed. You're not alone if you have thought like, oh my God, that person is so annoying. Like, why can't they just be easier? Like, why are they bothering me with this? Why can't they just go figure this out? Why are they struggling with this? Why are they so lazy? Why are they so undisciplined? Like, listen, if you have had those thoughts about people in your life, whether it's a loved one or even just a rando on the road, you're not alone. It's normal. And this is only happening because your brain has gotten away from you. You're having a lot of thoughts and they're not intentional thoughts, but it's creating a lot of your frustration and overwhelm. And what I want to share with you, and this is a kind of an exercise that I did with my clients in the group, is we all created what I like to call freedom models. So there's your frustration model, which is there's a human in your life, they say words, they take actions that you do not love, that you have a lot of thoughts about, and that's creating your frustration. Think about how you show up when you feel frustrated. You're snippy with them, you're snippy with yourself, you obviously are going to find yourself in the pantry eating and drinking to numb out from the frustration, and it's creating a lot of what you don't want. To get to your freedom model, there's one tweak you have to make, and that is simply allowing the humans in your life, partner, kids, loved one, random person on the street, you have to allow them to have their own thoughts, emotions, and actions without you having to have an opinion about it. Now listen, I can hear what you're saying. Like, Priyanka, what do you mean? Some people are jerks. Yes, they are. They're going to say things and do things that you don't agree with, but you having a strong opinion about how they should or shouldn't be is why you feel frustrated. So I want to invite you to make one pivot today, which is when somebody else is saying words, complaining, whining, being angry, feeling frustrated, you don't have to take it on to yourself. You can simply observe it, recognize this person is frustrated. This person is complaining. This person is angry. It's not your job to fix it. It's not your job to solve it. Simply observe it and feel yourself calm in walking away. When I say walking away, I mean physically. If you want to walk away from somebody else's anger, give yourself permission to do so. But what I really mean is walking away figuratively. So you can recognize somebody else's anger and their frustration. You can even feel empathy for them if that's available to you. But more than that, walking away from somebody else's anger or frustration means you're not taking on the role or the job of solving or fixing their anger and their frustration. That's not your job. That's their job. Your job is simply to observe them, to recognize this is what they're feeling, and then you get to simply respond. What we often do is we end up reacting because, again, humans mirror each other. That's just like normal human behavior. So when somebody else is frustrated, we react by mirroring frustration back, or we try to solve their frustration. We don't have to do any of that. Simply notice this person's frustrated, this person's angry, this person's complaining. Feel calm. It's not your job to fix it, and then decide how you want to respond. on yesterday's coaching call, we were specifically talking about like, how do you walk? I like literally imagine you're like in this soup of frustration. It's kind of like the words of my client. Your soup of frustration, or soup of, fill in your flavor, frustration, stress, overwhelm, the soup of an emotion that you do not love. There is a skill set that comes with knowing how to walk yourself out of the soup of frustration. And that means that you're no longer operating subconsciously. You're no longer reacting to the world. You're no longer reacting to the most primitive thoughts that your brain offers you. That you get in the driver's seat of thinking intentionally about the people in your life, about your partner, your kids, that random person on the street, the person that might not be gracious, the person that might not be appreciating you or recognizing you. All of it. Imagine that we became really intentional with how we interacted with the world. And what if that was the way that you got to walk out of your own personal frustration? I mean, everything.